have more Tata Group companies like Tata Elxsi, who is helping us with our app, our background development. We have Tata Power, who's helping us with charging infra. We have Tata AG Insurance on insurance aspect, Tata Chemicals, which is making on battery. We have Tata Capital and Tata Finance helping us on finance. Plus, not just cars, we have a division working on buses as well. So our key achievements in the last few years has been we have almost 6,000 electric cars ordered from government. We have deployed about 1,200 plus electric vehicles across 20 plus corporates and about 400 plus electric buses. So if you see everywhere, each department, each industry is trying to promote the electric way. Builders are putting up charging stations within their campuses, let it be residential or commercial. Government is pushing across public charging infra. So the Department of Heavy Industries has released for 1,000 crore budget for setting up of charging infra. These are some of the developments which have taken place. Along with that, government has taken very, very precise measures, like GST on electric vehicles has been reduced to 5%, vis-a-vis a diesel car being at 28 to 43%. The subsidy on electric cars is for commercial usage, yellow board is about 2.15 lakhs, and government has put across 14,000 crores for that. And if you see, the benefits are there across even charging infra. And overall, the objective is to reduce the emission standards, reduce the carbon emission, the smoke that we have polluting our air. Now, some of the companies, corporate companies, since we're talking about Tigor here, which is used for employee transport, these are some of the top companies who have adopted to convert into electric vehicles. SAP, Google, Citrix, VMware, P&G, Danone, IKEA, even Indian companies like SBI, you have Wipro, Hindustan Unilever, who are looking to promote electric within their organization, including Infosys. So now how Tata Motors took this up is about 7 years back, we started our journey on electric vehicles. We started with the Indica and the Vista with lead acid batteries. Those were the initial types of batteries that we had. And gradually we evolved. And we made a vehicle which is today looks in this shape with a lithium ion battery. Right, and this looks very, very neat. It looks very, very modern and has a nice look. This is some of the back looks, and these are some of the features of how the car looks in terms of the. You have shark fin antenna. You have a front grille, very stylish alloys, good ground clearance. These are some of the interiors of the vehicle. You have black and beige interiors. They look very, very pleasing to the eye. Very luxurious. If you see, we have a Harman Kardon audio system. We have a single speed transmission, so you can ನೀವು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ gear change ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಮತ್ತೆ we have a height adjustable seat wherein you can the driver can move up and down or back and forth. But the seats are very, very comfortable. This seating comfort which we have is bucket seats. So the passengers using for employee transportation will be very benefited. We don't have bench seats. We give you luxury bucket type seats. Safety is very important today. We give you dual airbags, not just single airbag, dual airbag. Our competition today, nobody provides double airbags in electric vehicle sedan. In sedan category, we are the only ones who provide dual airbag, and ABS also the vehicle comes with. These are some of the technical specifications of the vehicle. So some of the higher ranged petrol diesel cars have these specifications of 30 kilowatt power, torque of 105 Newton meter. It has a certified range of 213, but in real life, you can expect about 155 to 160 kilometers with AC and with loading. Slow charging, you need to do once a week in case of fleet transportation. For 11 and a half hours, you can do slow charging from 0 to 100. Fast charging, you require 2 hours overall from 0 to 100. So net, this vehicle is very, very rigid, strong. It has run almost 5 lakh kilometers in testing and close to about 15 lakh kilometers in real life since launch for the benefits to check out how strong, sturdy, and durable the car is. If you see what we have done as a product in this category, we have made a lot of changes in the battery pack. We have done changes in the battery cooling system so that you can have benefit of better economy, better range that comes with the product. And we have a battery management system which gives you a good range calibration, so that because each kilowatt hour of the battery is utilized to the best possible way to get you the most amount of range. And you need not do slow charging time after every 2 fast charges. You can do slow charging only on the weekend if required. You have a 4.5 kilowatt compressor, which ensures the cooling of the battery is very nice. You have enhanced safety. We have RCD cables, which ensure that the vehicle, in terms of safety, in terms of fire, is safely protected. We have regenerative braking, which ensures that you get additional 10 kilometers by the way of the dynamic or the dynamo energy is converted back into mechanical energy. And we also, in case of slopes, in case of very steep slopes, the vehicle can climb very easily because we have calibrated the state of charge as per that. Requesting all to be on mute. We have a vacuum pump which ensures that the brakes are very, very strong, sturdy, and gives you a good safety. Now, this is a very important slide. I would like to bring everybody's attention to this. Normally, in a petrol or diesel car, you can't come to know how many kilometers will the vehicle do just by sitting in a remote location. However, in an electric car, you can do that. So let us say you're running about electric vehicles and you want to give a duty or a trip to your driver, but you don't know whether the driver has how many kilometers range available in his vehicle. Now, by means of this app, we have a tie-up with MapMyIndia. We have our own software as well. You can check at any point of time at what speed the vehicle is driving at, how many kilometers is available on the vehicle, what is the exact GPS location of the vehicle, and whether the headlamps are on or off. So you have multiple options available to remotely monitor. And some of these analytics companies that can depute trips, they can use this information to deploy trips to sedans or electric vehicles. Now, most essential in Bangalore, people say traffic, I mean, pre-COVID was very high. And going forward, I'm sure when things come back normal, keeping social distancing in mind, number of cabs would still be high. So our cab, if you see the average ranges, we did a trial with one of our partners, one of our customers, and these are the range that they got. So anywhere between 150 to 160 average range is what they have got over a running of 10-15 days. This was somewhere about in November. But over a period of time, even till today, we get a range of about 155 to 160 in Bangalore with AC and with passengers seated. Now, how is it compared to competition? We have only one competition, the eVerito. Against the same, we have dual airbags, wherein competition provides only single airbag. We have four-way adjustable seat. The competition doesn't give you a four-way adjustable driver seat. Our air conditioning is automatic climate control. So how you set temperature at home in your AC at 19 degrees or 20 degrees, you can set that. You don't have to move around now. You need to do slow charging only once a week. You don't need to do it every after 2 fast charges. We give you a Harman Kardon audio system. The design of the car is very, very new, modern, and it doesn't have a taxi brand or image because it's known as an electric car, the Tigor. The interiors are very good looking, and from a safety point of view, you have an auto door lock as well. Just a small comparison here in terms of the range against competition. So we offer 150 average. I've taken on the lower side compared with competition of 120. So on a capex basis per kilometer of if you're running about 1.52 lakh kilometers over 3 years, the capex cost on the Tigor is about 7,000 vis-a-vis the eVerito at 9,000. Our OPEX cost is about 1 rupee 30 paisa vis-a-vis competition at 1.4, primarily because our range is higher by about 30 kilometers, and you also save on downtime of slow charging. Now, In our registration sheet, we got a lot of interest level where people ask, we want to understand electric versus diesel. What is the benefit of electric vis-a-vis diesel? Now, in electric car, the capex first table is your fixed cost. Now, when you go to the fixed cost, the vehicle in terms of fixed cost is 34,000 EMI for a electric vehicle, and diesel would be about 24,000. Net, if you see fixed costs, the diesel vehicle is cheaper by 13,000. Right now, you may be wondering, if diesel vehicle is cheaper by 13,000, why should somebody go for electric vehicle? Now, very important thing that I want to bring your attention to is the cost of running per kilometer. Now, electric vehicle with maintenance and running cost will cost you only 2 rupees per kilometer, right? Whereas a diesel vehicle today, diesel cost is going up daily, and even at a lower estimate, this costs you about 6 rupees per kilometer. And if you take today's diesel rate, this is almost 6.5 rupees per kilometer. So per kilometer of electric vehicle that you drive, you save 4 to 4.5 rupees. So if you drive the electric vehicle for about 4,000 kilometers to 4,200 kilometers a month, you save 3,500 rupees over diesel vehicle. Now, 3,500 rupees over 1 year is close to about 42,000. In 3 years, you can save 1,20,000. So that is a very big advantage that you get over electric vehicle compared to diesel. Capex is high, but you can recover the capex in a very short period of time, and the operating cost is very low. Now, some of you must be wondering, ki diesel car range is bari 150 ide or 150 kilometers or 155 kilometers is the range. How will I do my trips? So we have made a small representation here. Hege, how will you cover in a particular day? So we have taken an example here from a live client, wherein let's say the trip starts at 6 a.m. Now 6 a.m. the vehicle comes, runs for about 30 kilometers till 8 o'clock, finishes maybe one trip and comes back. So he's left with 80% charge. That means about 128 kilometers is still left. Then he goes for one more trip, comes back, he has 65% left, you have 104 kilometers. So on and so forth, he keeps doing trip. In between, like you see at 10 o'clock, 12:30 and 8:30, he does 3 top-up charges. Same like how you charge your mobile. The blues are where you charge your vehicle, right? These are fast charges. When you say FC, that means fast charge. NC means normal charge. So when you do fast charge directly from 65 to 90%, you're able to do it in, let us say, half an hour. Similarly, next between 12 to 12:30, you're able to do from 35 to 80% by maybe 132. You're able to get about 45% of battery again. So similarly, by doing just 3 top-up charges, you're able to do 280 kilometers in your daily running. And we have examples. We have customers who run 10 trips in a 24-hour shift, and they run close to about 300, 320 kilometers. So in electric vehicles, trips are possible. There is no limitation on kilometers, and downtime is also reduced. So practical use of electric vehicles is what we have covered here. Now, this is a little bit about knowledge. So people wanted to understand what are the kind of batteries. So we have cylindrical batteries, we have prismatic batteries, and we have pouch batteries. Now, the Tigor uses the prismatic battery, which is used currently in BMW and Volkswagen vehicles as well. And cylindrical batteries are used by Tesla, US, a very well-known brand. And pouch battery is used by Chevrolet, Nissan, and Renault. So I wish I could cover more in detail about these batteries, but maybe in a different session we can do that, because it's a very vast subject. But this is just for knowledge of people to know what type of batteries do we have. Now, these are the type of chargers that we have. We have CHAdeMO, GBT, CCS, and the US standard. So these are 4 different categories of chargers that we have today, charging modules available in the market. So currently we are using GBT module for higher, almost 250 amps or up to 700 volts of vehicles, and CCS is for much higher range vehicles. Now, some of you had asked about fast chargers available in Bangalore. Like, people feel we need fast chargers, we need infrastructure available, right? Now, for infrastructure being available, already a lot of agencies are working towards. There is an app called Electrify, wherein Bescom has put up almost 12 of their fast charging units, and the cost is hardly about 8 rupees to 10 rupees per unit. You can see you can book the slot on your app. You can go there, charge your vehicle, and you can get charged by Paytm or any of the other wallets as well. So it is very, very convenient. Even for your driver, you can do it very easily. And if you're maybe traveling from one location, another location, you can put it on the map that I'm traveling from point A to point B, which are the fast chargers available on the way. So that's the level of technology that has gone in today. Tata Power has put up about 10 fast charging stations across Bangalore city. So this is in locations like Tata Ginger, Tata Tanishq. These are some of the owned Tata properties, Tata Chroma. So we have 10 fast charging stations for Tigor in all these locations, which people can take benefit of. Now, keeping in mind the times of COVID, we also thought we will cover one small aspect where Tata has worked on certain accessories, which we are working on for providing a partition between the passenger side and the driver side, so that there is insulation kept in terms of the virus that we have. I mean, evolution or innovation is today name of the game, and that is where we are also working towards. Now, I have covered on the product part, I have covered on the technology part, I have covered on the infrastructure part. Now, some practical, we thought we'll get in views from the customers themselves. So we have a video from Mr. Shashidhar Shenoy, who's the MD owner of Vahana Mobility, who is using electric vehicles. So let's hear what is his feedback on electric vehicles. Just a minute. Just give me a few seconds. I'm just trying to get the yeah.
Hi, let me introduce myself. I'm Shashidhar, Director and a founder member of Vahana Mobility Solution. We started in 2019 and currently we are operating in Pune, Mumbai and Bangalore. We have been operating EVs from last 1 year, especially the Tata Tigor vehicles. The primary three reasons to go for a Tata Tigor vehicles are: one, range per charge, safety and interiors. I would like to use this platform to appreciate the after-sales service effort by the Tata Motors. In the last 1 year, yes, we had come across few technical problems, but the team was very responsive and we got a response within 30 minutes and the vehicles were back in action within 6 to 8 hours. Thank you.
So I thank Mr. Shenoy for sharing this across. As you can see, the benefit and the after-sales service has also been appreciated here. Next up, we have Madam Annapurna Baligar. So she uses, for employee transportation, she deployed a single yellow board electric vehicle. We thought we should also hear from people who are having one car only. What is their perspective?
Namaskar, I'm an entrepreneur and I run a successful cab company. I was looking to reduce the operational cost. Only place where I get vehicle service and fuel. One option was EV, but I had a doubt on running EV for commercial use. Is it feasible? What if the vehicle goes to extreme corner of city and returning to nearest charging station may not be possible? Thanks to the wonderful sales team who cleared all my doubts, finally I decided to go with Tata Tigor EV. Today we save 60% on operational cost with EV. I'm also happy to contribute to Go Green initiative. Overall, it was an amazing experience with Tata Motors, right from booking till vehicle delivery. Thank you, Tata Motors.
So thank you, ma'am, for sharing this video. Very insightful. Uh, these are some of the phone numbers of people who will be presenting today. You can take a note of the phone numbers or email IDs. We are very much available and accessible to you. Now we will move on to, before I move on to question and answers, I hand over to Manish to take forward for the next sessions.
Thank you, Sandeep
Thank you,
sir,
Sandeep sir,
for giving us
for giving us
insight on the product, giving us knowledge on the global and the Indian scenario. Now we'll have Anil. He's a service counterpart. He'll be taking you through do's, don'ts of electric vehicles. Anil,
Yeah, just a second. Good
Requesting
evening,
all
everyone.
others to please off your videos.
Good evening, everyone. Just let me.
So Anil heads service for Karnataka, and he'll be just giving us a brief on some of the key things from a service perspective.
Yeah. So is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. So here, like Sandeep already covered almost most of the part of the car. So here I'm just share you some brief about the how and what to be taken care while charging, then while driving, and some other things like washing and parking, etc. So like in the charging, so in the car, we have an analog display for the SOC, so state of the charge available in the car. So anytime whenever we are in the car, we can see it on the display. And just next to this meter, we have a small display where normally we show while driving, we shows trip details. So that display while charging will convert into and it will show the total time to charge. TTC means total time to charge. This is just a reference figure. So whenever we connect the car to the charging, it will show the time it requires to full charge. Okay. Then these are the locations for the charging ports where on the front grill we have a slow charging point, and on the rear in the fuel flap area we have the fast charging port. Okay. So now, before putting it on a for a charging, we should ensure that our power socket should be well grounded, which is a must for an EV to charge. Because if we have any issue related to grounding or power supply, like high voltage or low voltage, the charging cable, we have a control circuit also inbuilt in that, which doesn't allow the car to charge if we have any issue related to earthing and all. So we have to ensure that our earthing should be proper, and we should have some circuit breakers in between the power point, just for additional safety. Okay. And we should avoid any to do any joints or in the wiring which we are using for the charging, like or an extension cable if we are putting it in between. We should avoid these things. Okay. And now in EV car, like we shown that we are using prismatic cells. So in any normal cars, the we were having a multiple cells. Okay. And for a better performance of a battery, we should ensure that all the charge should be charged equally and discharged equally. So discharging will be taken care while driving, but while charging, all the cells should be equally charged. So this we have to ensure. And for this parameter, we have designed our battery management BMS algorithm in such a way that even during fast charging also, it will do the balancing, which competition doesn't have. Okay. So, but for this, we have to ensure that the car should be connected for the charging even after 100%. So once it shows 100% charge, after that also it takes some time, just 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending upon the battery condition, to do the balancing activity. But the only thing we have to ensure that it should be connected, keep it connected until unless it shows the charging finished on the charger screen, as well as in the car also we can see. So like here, if you see there is a small green light will blink while charging. so that light will continuously glow. So that car will also indicate that it is fully charged. Okay. And then for a better battery performance, we should avoid short charges like 20-30% charge only we have done. If we have time, then we should do full charge. Yes, if in between we have a trip, then we can disconnect it, but unnecessarily we should not disconnect it. Okay. And once in a week we should do a slow charging cycle. That will give a better a little bit of better battery life in terms of. Okay. And then this one, the charging we should avoid. The more the deep discharge we do, it will be better for a battery life. Okay. And one more thing, we just has to ensure that while not in use, these ports should be closed. It should not be in open position, because otherwise water and dust will increase and it will create some issues. Now we go to driving tips. So driving an electric car in compared to an ICE car, like a normal petrol or diesel car, is a bit different. And we have to include, we have to do, incorporate some changes in our driving style. So like it's not a major this one, but yes, initially it may take a little time to get adjust to and driving on an electric car. Okay. So yes, safety we have to ensure that every time we should wear the seat belts. And yes, in Tigor we have ensured and we have additional safety, like if my driver door is open, the car will not move. So that is an additional safety we have incorporated in Tigor. So we should ensure that the doors are closed while charging. Okay. Now, whenever we start the car, whenever we turn on the key, the system will do a self check. So my main VCU will communicate with all the child VCUs like battery management system, motor controller, everyone, ABS controller, everything. It will communicate with all those things, and it takes a little somewhere around 4 to 5 seconds. Okay, so we should wait for that time to ensure that yes, everything is checked and everything is in perfect condition. Okay. Then in electric car, like we have, like already said, we have a automatic transmission. So before changing the gear, we have to ensure that brake pedal is fully pressed. If you are not pressing the brake pedal, the car will not move. It will not change the gear. Okay, so that we think we have to ensure. Now, in compared to any normal ICE car, in electric car we have a high torque. Initially, we are getting a very high torque available at the accelerator, and a little press on the accelerator pedal will give you a immense power. So yeah, and in terms again, that will consume some more power also. Okay, so we should avoid sudden acceleration while driving. We should do a gradual acceleration only with this one. And yes, we have a creep mode also. So the moment we turn on the gear and we release the brake pedal, it will start moving. So we should wait for that time, let car start moving on the creep mode, then we should press accelerator pedal gradually, so that it will consume a less power. Okay. Then another advantage of an electric car is regenerative braking. This we are not getting in normal cars. And in normal cars, the energy available at the wheels at the time of braking is going into heat. But here we are using that power, that energy, to charge the battery back. Okay. So the same motor will act as a generator also while braking or slowing down. Okay. And here in Tigor, we have calibrated the regenerative braking in such a way that you can easily experience the driving with a like you can control the car with a single pedal only, and you need a brake. You need to use brake only when you have to stop. Otherwise, like if you see there is a hump ahead, you just release the accelerator pedal a little early, some like 200 meter early. So the time you reach to the hump, it will already slow down. So no need to press the brake pedal, and again you can accelerate it. So here we are at the same time we are getting some energy also through regenerative braking. So we'll get some battery also. And another advantage of doing this is that we are getting a better brake life also. So like if we compare it with a normal car, will get a better, some like 2 to 3% of better brake parts life. So like my brake pad and brake shoes wear will be less if I'm using the regenerative braking in a better way. And the same time, it will add, it will give me an extra some 10 to 15% of extra range. Uh, like uh, like if someone is getting some 130 kilometer, and if someone is using regenerative braking in a better way, he will get some 140, 145, 142 kind of range. So it will give us a dual advantage. So additional range and the same time the better brake life also we are getting. Okay. And then the economy speed of an EV is somewhere around 40 to 70. So if we drive it between this range, we'll get a better range and a better mileage, we can say. And any additional, like if I'm driving at 70 and then I move to 80, my power consumption will increase by 10 to 15%. So that will again impact my range. And for a city riding, I think this speed is more than enough for a city ride. Okay. Then another power source is AC. So like we have a automatic AC, so that we can use in a better way to save some power also. Okay. Like here we have auto mode, so we can set a desired temperature and we can put it on auto, so that it will automatically maintain that particular temperature, and no need to change it very frequently. And in this way it will give a better performance also in terms of both cooling as well as power consumption. And here we have economy mode also, so that also we can use when there is not much hot weather outside there, like nowadays it's very cold, so we can use economy mode also if high cooling is not required. Okay. Then we should avoid any additional load or extra baggage, something kind of, like if some unnecessary bags or something should not be there in the car, because anything we add to the this one load, it will affect my range.
Anil, we are running
uh,
short of time. If you can.
okay. Then one more important factor is the tire pressure, because if in compared to normal ice car, we are tend to forget the tire to check the tire pressure. So that's something we have to get a check regularly, like every 10-15 days. Okay, now I will move to washing tips. Yes, normally we should do a regular washing, but we should avoid washing near to this one, the under bonnet and on the boot area, and near to the motor area. We should not do pressure wash in that area. Okay. Then if we are parking a EV for a longer duration, like 1 month or 2 months, so like these days the conditions are like in the March month that lockdown happened. So in such cases, we should ensure that the battery is more than main battery should have a charge more than 50%, and disconnect the low voltage battery and high voltage battery. So high voltage battery we can disconnect through a service disconnect switch, and to disconnect the low volt battery, we can remove the negative terminal of auxiliary battery. Okay. Now I'll just share the service schedule of Tigor. So like in Tigor we have service at every 15,000 kilometers or 12 months, whichever occurs earlier. Okay. And from the maintenance point of view, if we see, there are only two oils need to be changed, and that too, like brake oil will get changed at 45,000 kilometer or 2 years, and the quantity is somewhere around 400 ml. And the same time, transaxle oil change is at 75,000 kilometer or 5 years or 60 months, same period. Okay, and the quantity is again 1.2 liter only. So on a maintenance part, it's very cheap, very cheaper on the this one in compared to a normal ICE car. And we also have an AMC and extended warranty offering also. So that is also we have. And in the AMC, we are covering everything like battery box, all the chargers, MCU, motor controller. These things we are covering. Then AC compressor, all the VCUs, everything we are covering in both. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anil sir, for your tip. Thank you, Anil sir, for your tip and how things has to be maintained, because EV is something we need to maintain our discipline to get the mileage out of it. Now, for EV to run successfully, we need charging points. So we have two of the charging vendors. One is Tata Power and one is Voltage. So I would like to invite Arvind from Tata Power to present his slides.
Hi all, good evening. Hi all, good evening. I am Arvind. So first of all, thanks to Sandeep and Manish for arranging such a wonderful session at this time of lockdown. So where people can share their ideas and people can have ideas about EV vehicle and charging infrastructure. Okay, so let me take it to the presentation. So this is a proposal for fleet operators of Karnataka. So what we are offering. So as of now, we have installed the charging stations in all major metros across the country, covering Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune. And also we have installed charging stations in 14 cities across the country. And we are planning for a pan-India presence so across the country now. So it's like we are...
Arvind sir, if you can put it in presentation mode.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we are into offices, residential spaces, malls, hotels, and we are also planning for public EV charging stations across the country now. And already we have installed in 14 cities and we have our manpower presence in 27 cities now where we are focusing. So we are planning to install charging stations across all these 27 cities very soon now. And we are having close associations with all the DISCOMs to take up the EV charging infra in the respective cities. As of now, we have 178 charging points installed across 14 Indian cities. And we also plan to have another 62 more locations, which is already confirmed, which will be executing immediately post the lockdown timings. So this comes to somewhere around 230 plus chargers in India. So, and we are planning for very high numbers soon. And these are the chargers in Bangalore, which is operational already. So these are in various locations in Bangalore, where you can go and charge your vehicle. All these are fast chargers. So, just for people to go through that. And coming to the plans going ahead. So Tata Power has a very extensive plan for DC chargers as well as AC chargers. So DC chargers basically are fast chargers where we are planning for 700 plus numbers in this financial year across the country. And if I have to tell about the numbers in Bangalore, we are looking for at least 100 plus numbers in Bangalore alone on DC chargers, fast chargers. And again, also some AC chargers close to 150 numbers for Bangalore we are planning. And this will be majorly in malls, workplace, petrol outlets, restaurants and residential societies. And we are also focusing on highways through restaurants and petrol retail outlets. So where you will not have a problem to drive in longer distance travelers also in highways. And these are some pictures of Tata Power charging stations installed in some other cities as well. This is the scope of work, how it goes on. So generally the location is given by the client. So that's the fleet operator. So where you want to put up a charging station. And power supply connection and power supply infrastructure and cabling. These 2 points will be taken care either by the client or Tata Power. This can be closed on case-to-case basis, depending upon the location. And when we come to EV chargers, charger installation, charger maintenance, and application for remote control and monitoring, everything is taken care by Tata Power. We will handle that and we will install and we will maintain the charger as well. And operation doesn't require any major concern. It can be used by anyone. So the client and public can use the chargers at any point of time. And what we offer for EV fleet charging services. So we have two options for EV fleets. One is a captive charger. What I say is like installation of chargers at Tata Power on the preferred location of the EV fleet operators. So you want to install a charging station at one of your location or a client location where you operate, we can do that. So which will ease your day-to-day operations of the fleet. And there will be a preferential rates on charging for the EV fleet operators. And option 2 is public charging. As I already told you, Tata Power is planning to extend the public charging to a higher level. So at least by 1,000 numbers by end of this financial year. So we already have some 178 numbers across the country, and Bangalore has close to 14 numbers. So these chargers can be used by the fleet operators with the preferential rate, which we can work it out on a case-to-case basis with everyone. So that's from my side. This is my contact number and contact details, email ID. So you can make a note of this for coordinating with me in future. So, and again, thanks to Manish and Kaushal and also for all the attendees who have spent their valuable time for this.
Thank you, Arvind sir. We
Thank
have
you.
Varun sir from Voltec. So, Varun sir,
Yeah, good evening all. Thank
evening.
you, Sandeep and Manish and Tata Motors team for inviting us and giving us this platform to share our offering. Now I will quickly go through our presentation so that we can. So, yeah, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Very much.
Yeah. So yeah, Voltic, we are providing EV charging services, and we are currently serving all type of EV in the market, either it's Tata Tigor or Nexon. But this presentation is more or less concentrated on Tigor and employee transportation. So there, Tigor is the most favorable EV currently used. So we will discuss on the charging of Tigor EVs. So coming to the introduction, yeah, we are one of the leading service provider currently in India and serving across all the major cities. We have installation in Bangalore, we have in Gurgaon, we have Noida, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, and Hyderabad. We are coming. So we provide all type of charging solution, AC and DC. And you know, the major concern currently faster adoption of EV is the lack of charging infra. So for that, definitely a good amount of charging station is required to be installed. And to make it success from right now, we are closely developing a strategy to put a charging station across everywhere. It is not in a one day we can develop a charging station across all over the country or all over the highway. So that is where we come with a strategic business model, business case, closely working with like Tata Motors along with the fleet operators to fulfill their need of the chargings. And our charging stations come with a cloud platform for monitoring and billing purpose. That also we will share later in this slide. Coming to the what chargers we are providing currently, there is two type of chargers. One is AC slow chargers and second is DC fast charger. So AC slow charger is plus for slow charging, mostly for overnight charging or during the ideal time when you have enough time on weekend or something like that. So in that, Tata Tigor is supporting AC01 and Tata Nexon, which is the new vehicle, they are supporting Type 2 AC chargers. On the DC fast chargers, you know, Bharat DC chargers supported for Tata Tigor EV. It's come in both option, one gun option, two gun option, because for the fleet operation, we are here for the discussion. So most of the fleet preferences is two guns so that at a time, two vehicle can be charged and we can maximum utilize the time. During the idle time, we can charge on top of the vehicles. So our most of the installation is two gun installation, and CCS2 chargers will be for the new vehicle like Tata Nexon. As I mentioned, we have to develop charging station in a strategic way. That's why we are closely working to fulfill.
जो बोलोगे वो कर दूंगा पैसा ट्रांसफर.
I think someone need.
Requesting all to be on mute, please.
Yeah. So for that, we operate in three ways. One is the captive workplace charging. Most of these charging stations are installed in the corporate premises who are availing these EV fleet services, employee transportation groups. And most favorable charger is the Bharat DC two-gun chargers, and EV fleet, you know, the Tata Tigor EV are used. Second is the fleet operators. Some fleet operator have parking hubs, so they can also install these charging station. It will be fast charging station. It can be AC mix because overnight charging they can do that. And third is the public charging, which as earlier mentioned by Tata Power, we are also working. So it will be a mix of all three together. Then we can easily support our EV fleet operator to fulfill their need, because during the idle time their driver can charge at the captive location or after finishing their trips. At the parking hub, they can also charge during the night or during the weekend. And public charging, where any in route charging or available public charging station during their trips, they can also charge. So we are serving all three modes currently as a business services. This is our app, and these are showing some charging station installed across India, and particularly in Bangalore. In Bangalore, we have installed in corporate like JP Morgan, HP Computing, Infosys. Total till now, our installed capacity is 59. We are operating across all the major cities, and this year we have expansion plan of 103 new stations. I'm talking about currently DC fast charging station only. So it will be mix of captive and public charging station. Most of the EV fleet operators right now are preferring the OPEX model, where their client is providing a charging location or parking location. They are also arranging the power, because our expertise is on the EV charging. So we are investing, we are running and maintaining complete EV charging infra, and they are paying us our monthly bills, whatever the agreed bills. There are tariffs depending on scenario, depending on the work scope. But we are successfully running this model, and with a close coordination of Tata Motors, and in Bangalore we have lots of partners, EV fleet partners, who are running their EVs last 1 year without a single breakdown because of EV charging is not available. So as of now, EV charging is most, you can say, a strategic way we have to plan to overcome people myth that charging is a hurdle or charging is the biggest challenge. But we are successfully working and running this. So that is where we are right now working in OPEX model. A typical tariff, just for your understanding, we want to give it here for the Bharat DC chargers, either 1 gun or 2 gun. It range from 2.5 rupees to 4.5 rupees, depending on the use case. We are not considering any location charges or power charges. It is just the charging services. But when it comes to a pure public charging station, it should be around 12 to 15 rupees. It may differ because EV tariff differ to state, but it is a generic for Bangalore, or where the tariff is between 5 to 6 rupees. So this is the tariff currently we are serving to our clients. Now, Voltic one advantage is that we are providing a software integrated solution, because all the EV fleet operators, what they want to convert their existing business models to the EV fleet adoptions, so that they need not to change anything. So where they are mostly asking a driver mapping, driver how much utilizing in the charging and how much time he's taking, all those things. So that easily we are providing through our backend system. Our all charging station come with a backend solutions. It is cloud-based, so you can monitor sitting at your office, at your home, anywhere. It is very easy, and you can monitor your chargers, your drivers. This is just an example of a report, like which driver, what time he use, how much unit he consume. So accordingly, you can build or deduct the bill for whatever fuel in terms of charging he consumed. This supports mostly to the EV fleet operator operation who gives driver on rental and other models. So this is for that, but it is a totally cloud-based reporting system, easily accessible from anywhere. This is you can monitor your charging station, either it is available, either it is unavailable, it is charging, either it is in the fault state. So accordingly, you can drive your shift also. Means if suppose some charging station is busy, so maybe you can shift your driver to some other charging station. Maybe some charging station in fault condition, so you can send a vehicle which is more charged. So all these parameters are required during a fleet operation, which is very much useful to plan your shift, plan your fleet trips and to avoid any outage, means any vehicle outage because of the charging stations. So this also come with the Voltic platform or Voltic chargers, complete integrated solutions. Now I quickly give you some of our major clients who we are serving: Vahana Mobility, Journey, Denab, Absolute, MK Travel, Golden. And these are the corporate where we installed: McKinsey, Fidelity, Sienna, JP Morgan, Infosys, HP, and many more are others. But these are some of our important clients, and mostly all operated in Bangalore. So we put their names. And you can see some of our real installation. Most of are in the corporate premises and easily serving the charging of all the fleet. All the fleet are covering daily around, I believe, 250 plus kilometers successfully without any issue on the charging side, I'm telling you. And most of the time, because charging is not to 0%, 0 to 100% charging every time, it is most of the time top up. So top up can be easily done with a 2-gun charger for all the fleet operator. They need not to worry on the charging part. Provided chargers should be installed at a strategic location, they can easily access those chargers, and it's always available whenever they require. So these things we are taking care during our discussions with our client and with our all the partners, either with Tata Motors, either with EV fleet transport operators, to make it in a strategic way. So thank you all for listening, and this is from my side, from Voltic side. These are some contact details. You may reach to our website, our mail ID, and this is our office numbers. You can reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Varun sir.
Yeah.
So we have got your questions. So now I'd like to invite Sandeep sir, Anil sir, Arvind sir, and Varun sir. So turn on your videos.
Thank you so much, everybody, for a patient hearing. We are at 5 o'clock. So by the permission of the audience, I think we have 67 people plus there. We'll just take up some of the questions. So somebody asked, what is the car's warranty? That's already been put across, 1,25,000 or 3 years. Can the vehicle be charged at home? Yes, definitely can be charged at home. Is it a retrofit or a purpose-built EV? Well, all the EVs today are based on their modules of the diesel vehicles which are there, or the petrol vehicle based on which the EV has been accommodated for. Preventive actions for COVID, we already shared the slide on that. Fast charging takes 2 hours. That has already been shared for Mr. Kapoor. Absence of charging infra, how effective is EV vehicles? Again by Mr. Kapoor. So charging is only one part of the story. And today in employee transportation, charging is essential, because if you're going to do 250 kilometers per day, you need charging. But if you're going to run, let's say 40, 50 kilometers per day, slow charging at your home, that will be more than enough. Okay, one more question is, how much does the battery efficiency come down over time? Anil, can you take that question?
Yeah. So on a normally, these lithium-ion batteries will degrade by 1 to 2% in a year over the this one. Well, it's not nothing more than that.
Great. So this question was from Saharsh. I hope we have addressed that. Okay, how often do we have to change the battery, or how many kilometers will it run? And what is the battery replacement charges? Posted by Mr. MT. Anil, if you can address that.
Just a second. One second. So normally the batteries, these batteries are not like after warranty period it will be of no use kind. Okay, so these batteries can last long for life. Okay, as I already told, natural degradation will happen. So that is 1 to 2% only. So it all depends how better we are maintaining the batteries. So life will depend upon that thing only. And yes, if there is something in particular 1 or 2 cells or 2 modules, something went wrong, we can replace those individual modules only. No need to replace entire battery pack.
Great. Moving on to the next question, somebody has asked, is the lithium-ion battery, is it a Tata in-house product or is it imported? And what is Ziptron technology? So the battery is currently imported, a certain percentage of it. The rest of it is made in India itself, assembled in India. Over the next 2 to 3 years, along with Tata Chemicals, we are looking to make this completely 100% in-house. Today, you would be surprised to know almost 70% of the electric car is made in India. Ziptron technology for Altroz EV it's a platform in terms of the battery pack, in terms of the motor that we have. And Ziptron on commercial vehicles, as of now, we don't have any plans, Saharsh. We'll be planning maybe 1 year down the line or 2 years down the line. Alden has asked, are these cars available in Chennai? Yes, very much, sir. These cars are available in Chennai. Vivek Ahuja has asked, companies like Indian Oil started battery swapping stations. Do you have a battery swappable car? So battery swapping, we are working with IIT Madras for a swapping technology. But for swapping to work, even my co-manufacturers, that are other manufacturers, also have to come on the same platform, right? So today, for that to happen will be difficult because there are 2-3 limitations on design aspect, safety aspect of cars as well. So maybe not now, maybe at least 2-3 years down the line, you could look at swapping. But swapping really doesn't help because charging takes care of that. Okay, can you share regenerative brake saving? Anil, if you can address that.
Yeah, as I already mentioned, during a full discharge, we can say up to that 10. If we are using regenerative braking in a better way, we can save up to 10 to 15. We can add 10 to 15% in the range.
Great. So Vivek, I hope that question has been addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bharatendu has asked, what will be the city mileage? Mr. Bharatendu, city mileage with AC and with occupants, with the passengers, would be anywhere between 150 to 160. 155 is an average that we can take in a city like Bangalore. Okay, somebody has asked, is there a dynamo in car so that we can charge battery? Anil, again for you.
No, we don't have any dynamo in the car. The main battery, while regenerative braking, the battery which drives the car only works as a generator. Okay, and that will do some give back some power to battery. Apart from that, we don't have any dynamo because that will also again will consume some power only to run that dynamo. So it's not making any sense.
Okay, Mr. Sachin G has asked a question. What is the future of employee transportation business looking in current perspective? Well, sir, nobody has an answer for that today. And definitely the way things are looking, we see economy is back while we all are learning to live with this kind of a scenario. And world over, even if you see China, Vietnam, everywhere, so businesses have started coming back. So I think employee transportation crux is when companies start moving to the workforce back to offices. This will definitely come back. This is just a short-term phenomena. Nobody can do this for long times, right? The whole cycle has got will get changed. This is just a short-term phenomena. Once this phenomena goes away, I see that employee transportation has a much brighter future ahead. What is the mileage difference between an AC and non-AC driven electric car? Anil?
Yeah. So like AC for 1 hour AC operation, it will consume some 5 to 6% of battery. So it all depends upon how much time we are running in, apart from the kilometer distance we are. So it's more on the time. So we can say that like if we are driving continuously for 2 hours, the 10%, so somewhere 10% means some 15 kilometers we can lose.
Okay. This is a question maybe Arvind, if you can answer. Is the charging point different for Verito and Tigor? This is sent by Mr. V. Rao.
No, it's same actually. For Verito and Tigor, it's the same charging point on fast charger. So both the cars can be charged from the same charging point.
Great. Again, a question from Mr. V. Rao. How many charging points we have in Bangalore?
So in Bangalore, we have close to 10 charging points by Tata Power. And Bescom is also having some charging points close to 12 numbers. So in total, I can say 22 numbers charging points are available. And other players also putting chargers now across the city.
Okay. Is there, okay, this is a question by Mr. MT. Is there any chance that the FC price, the fast charging price will come down from the present price? I leave it to both, maybe Varun and Arvind, if you can answer that.
Yeah, see, definitely it will come down because as the numbers or volume will increase. So 2 years back, whatever the prices, this is almost down 20-30% current scenario. So charger will prices will come down, but not like there is a price difference between AC and DC charger. Okay. So for home charging segment, the prices are right now around 60,000. Just I'm giving as a rough figure. But DC fast charger are worldwide costly, or there are a certain benchmark. We cannot go below that because we have to maintain the safety, cooling, and lots of aspects. But yeah, there will be some price depreciation with the time, with the volume, but not on like very big scale what we are expecting, because that is already right now in market, and we seen that depreciation or prices coming down. But with time, CCS like public charging or Bharat DC charging, already they are on right now with the lower price tag in coming slowly down, not very drastically. So don't compare AC and DC charging cost, because lots of people always compare costing AC and DC. So DC is totally a commercial operation, same like a petrol pumps. And you know the petrol pump, owning a petrol pump is a very costly affair. So same like here, same scenario will persist. Yeah.
So adding to Varun's point, I also agree whatever he told. And there are government initiatives taken for reducing the cost for EV charging. So hope in future it might get down, but I am not able to confirm you what will be the range of price which will be getting down, but we are expecting that. And right now I can say on Tata Power charging stations, it's as of now it's free of cost. You can go and charge all your vehicles in Tata Power charging stations available in Bangalore. So we are not charging anything as of now in public chargers.
Okay. So Mr. Aditya has written the BESCOM charging stations are not many of them are operational. I understand today BESCOM, because of the limited staff being a state organization, they are grappling with manpower for these charging stations. I'll definitely share your feedback with the BESCOM GM, and we'll see if all can be made operational.
Thank you.
Sure. What is the electricity cost for slow and fast charge? Who can take this question?
Yeah, so electricity cost is common for both if you talk about EV charging tariff, okay? Because government has decided a fixed rate, every state government, whosoever is declared a EV policy. So either it's a BESCOM or UP or Delhi, so tariff for charging is same. Only matter if you are going without EV tariff or EV connection, then there is a difference, because if you are charging at home, so home rates will be applicable. But if you charging at some other location where commercial connection is there, so their tariff will different. But if you go for a EV charging connection or tariff, it is common for home or public everywhere. There is no differentiation.
Great. So to make it concise, in Bangalore for slow charging tariff at home, it would cost you roughly about 50 to 60 paisa per kilometer. And if you use commercial cost at 9 rupees per kilometer, so per kilometer cost will come up to about 1 rupee 30 to 1 rupee 40 paisa per kilometer, right? If that answers the question. Mr. Vivekananda G has asked, recharging by inbuilt dynamo while the vehicle slows down is understood, but recharging while brakes are applied, how is that possible? Anil, could you share?
Yeah, so recharging while braking also, the same motor will act as a generator only. The moment we release the accelerator pedal, the motor will convert into generator, and till the time we are not pressing again the accelerator pedal, and it slows down up to a speed of 10, the regeneration will work. So the more we let the car slow down on its own, the more regeneration we will get.
Okay, great. Moving on to next question, we have from Mr. Bhanu S. What is the future estimated demand for charging stations or charging infra? Maybe Varun, if you can take this question.
Yeah, so future demand, whatever we are expecting for next 5 year, 2026, around the market size will be around 5,600 crores. And we are expecting cumulative year-wise demand by 2026, 50,000 plus charging station in a year. So the market is expected to grow with a 40% CAGR. Even COVID impacted, but this is only for time being. So the demand of EV charging station is expected to grow very fast. And that is why it is everybody is now working from government to private sector to all the stakeholders. So this is as per studies conducted, around 5,600 crores business are in, you can convert it in billions and millions USD dollar, but right now I'm telling in Indian rupees, which we are expecting in next only 5 to 6 years.
Great. Again, questions on battery swapping from Mr. Stanley C and Mr. Adesh. So as I discussed, swappable batteries currently, because of design, safety perspective, not possible. But we are working with IIT Madras for something in the future. Sapna S has asked, when can we buy Nexon EV? Well, Nexon EV is readily available for personal segment. For commercial segment, we are not, it's only Tigor which is available. Is Tata Motors interested in sale of vehicle or is lease subscribed directly from OEM and option? For Nexon, we are working on subscription models. However, Tigor is definitely on sale and maybe finance perspective. Okay, Mr. Kapoor K has asked, do we need special infrastructure for charging at home? Arvind, if you can answer that.
So Tata, sorry. So we installed the charging station, charging facility in the home as well. Yes, a little bit of wiring cabling has to be done for that, for the charger to charge at home as well. So when you buy the car, Tata Power helps out in getting the charger installation at your premises, and we are doing that.
Great. Mr. Sachin Ji has asked, are these cars available in Pune? Yes, very much available, sir. Mr. Manish has asked on Nexon EV purchase. Yes, very much available, sir. Sapna S has asked, what is the FAME 2 subsidy for Tigor EV? And it is for Nexon EV, we don't have FAME subsidy as of now. For Tigor EV, it is 2.15 lakhs. Okay, somebody has said that TCS themselves see workforce reducing by 20 to 25% by 2025. There will be some impact on ETS. Yes, see, but these are short-term phenomena. So after TCS released that statement, you should have read the next statement also. Maybe the first statement got very glorified. What they meant is the overall impact may not be that extent. We will have, we see the trend which we are working towards. So it's not that all companies are going to move 25% to work from home. Just imagine not everybody has a 3-bedroom house. Some people are working on dining tables. Some people are working sitting on the floor. Some people have internet connection, some people don't. And some people have working wives, so managing kids. Psychological issues of working from home without teams. So work from home is not a permanent solution. Definitely you will see this changing across. I think we have last few questions that we will take and then we'll close it. What is the cost of, 1 second, sorry. By when Mysore will get a fast charging station? Arvind?
Yeah, Mysore we are already in plan. So we have already got some locations. If the COVID situations are closing, we are already in terms of closing the deal as well for opening up charging sessions in Mysore. Soon we can accept.
Great. What is the potential of converting diesel to electric vehicle? Is Tata working something with the government? See, currently we don't have a feasibility because safety becomes a paramount issue. So maybe not now, maybe in the future we may have a solution for this. Mr. KSP, I hope that answers your question. Mr. Khushraz has asked, what is the cost of fast charging? Has it been taken in the cost calculation? Yes, Mr. Khushraz, the cost of fast charging has been taken in the calculation. When you take the per kilometer cost itself, we have added the cost there, including in maintenance. So if you run across 4,000 kilometers or 4,200 kilometers, there the saving will definitely come, sir. Okay, somebody has Saharsh has asked, can we put a solar panel on top of an EV and will that help? Well, some companies have tried putting a solar panel. It works out really expensive because saving power on the battery or constantly saving that electricity, the solar power and converting to electric comes at a very high cost. So maybe in the future, this will take some time. Mr. Dodappa has asked, what is the plan for tier 2 and 3 cities, especially post-sale service? So already in Karnataka, we are looking at Mysore and Mangalore for post-sale service. Gradually, as volumes increase, we will look at other cities as well. Target for Rajasthan, Mr. Bharatendu has asked. Frankly, I would not be aware. We're looking at South India here.
But even in Rajasthan, we have in Jaipur and Udaipur, we are servicing those cities. Jaipur definitely we are having.
Okay. Mr. Meghraj has asked, is there any dealership for charging infra or vendors or channel partners of Tata Motors Voltic? We don't have right now any dealership for charging infra because that is not our forte. We have our partners, for example, Tata Power, Voltic. We all work with all of these companies. Can we charge Nexon using solar power at home? Arvind?
Yeah, it's very much possible, but we need to check on what is the capacity of the solar as well. So the charger can be connected with the solar thing, but it all depends upon the capacity of the solar.
Minimum 3 to 4 kilowatt they need.
Yes.
Because your Nexon is on 3.3 kilowatt. So if you want to charge in 4-5 hours, so at least you have a space to install a solar plant of that capacity. So that is something you have to plan before you go for solar connected. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody has asked, Mr. Bhanu has asked, are there any plans for 2 and 3 wheeler charging stations? Arvind?
Let me answer. See, what we are either Tata Power or Voltic offering, we are bind with the government standards. Okay, whatever our chargers are as per approved government standard. So if the 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler supporting those chargers are charging standard, definitely you can charge. But as far as my knowledge, as no 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler are on a standard charging protocol or supporting any fast charging. So that is why people are struggling. But we are putting whatever approved standard government by Indian or the state or Department of Heavy Industry. So all charging station is complying to those standards. So OEM need to think on that. Yeah.
Okay. Are you planning for Chennai? Yes, Mr. Saju, we have vehicle availability in Chennai as well. Mr. AM has asked, is the EV designed from scratch or is it converted from ICE? As I mentioned, none of the vehicles in India are made from scratch today. These are all based on ICE vehicles. And Mr. Adesh has asked, will we get a recorded webinar link? Yes, sir. We will try to share you the recorded webinar link as well. I think that more or less covers all of it. And I tried to take almost all the questions because in the previous webinar, we missed out a few questions. So thank you so much. Maybe Manish will give a vote of thanks for all of us present here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Anil, sir. Thank you, Arvind, sir. So we got a good insight, and thank you for our patience audience. We extended more than our time, 20 minutes more than our time. And everyone was there asking questions and listening to all the answers. I hope all your questions were answered. And thank you once again.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Arvindji.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.